I'm Khyra Steiner, and you're listening to Elaborate with K. Elaborate with K. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elaborate with K. So, today's episode is going to be about getting your groove back and how to jump in full speed ahead when you're coming back off of a break. So, let's get started. Okay, so the day you're seeing this is Sunday, and it's actually the last day before I go back to school for my spring semester of my senior year of college, which is an absolutely crazy thing to say. I can't believe that I'm almost done. I'm going into my last semester, which is wild. But that being said, I've been on a break for the last 2 months almost, and I've been working, doing little jobs and working on projects and things throughout that time, but I haven't been back in like a full 5 classes, 5 days a week schedule. And so this episode is as much for me as it is for you, but it's going to be just a little bit about how I think it's best to get back into the groove of things and get back into your routine when you're coming off of a break. Okay, so for starters, I think making sure that you are waking up consistently and waking up at your correct time. I think that when you're coming off of a break and you're coming off of sleeping in a lot and laying in bed, rolling around and kind of just relaxing, which is much needed, but I think that when you're coming off of that, it can be really hard to jump right back into your routine. I know as a kid, when we were coming off of like summer or winter break and stuff, my mom would tell me the last few days of break, like, okay, maybe you should start practicing like waking up early, waking up at like the normal time you need to get up for school just so that your body can adjust. And I've thought about that throughout college, and I definitely have tried to do it when we're at the tail end of a break or where my schedule is switching. But it is hard. It's hard sometimes, especially when you're on break and you still want to make sure that you're getting your rest. So I think that's something that helped me a lot when I was younger too, is obviously setting your alarm first and foremost. Make sure that you set your alarm. I think something that I tend to do is if I feel myself getting tired and I'm like about to get into bed, there have definitely been a couple of times where I was so tired when I got into bed or was getting ready for bed and I forgot to set an alarm. So I feel like the minute you feel yourself getting tired or you have a schedule, set your alarm. And also, if you have an iPhone and you use the bedtime alarm thing, you can set what days you want your alarm to be at what time. So, and I think you might still have to go in to like turn it on, I think, but I know that you can set it. So I had set it during the last semester. You're like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, my class starts at this time. So I would set my alarm for like 6:30. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, if I have an earlier class, I would set it for 5:30. And so you can do that to kind of keep yourself consistent. And I do love the bedtime feature too, because using the little dial and it telling you how much sleep you're going to get, one, is amazing. But two, I think that really inspires me, motivates me to try to get to bed earlier and try to fulfill my sleep goal. So I have my sleep goal set at 8 hours. So it really inspires me to try to get as close to 8 hours as I can when I have the time. But going off of that, I was originally going to say, when you set your alarm and you're going to bed, if you can, and I know this is hard and you don't always have like the space or the means or the outlets, because sometimes outlets are in the most unconventional places, but I think if you set your phone down at night away from your bed, so you can't especially if you're a habit snoozer and you just like turn over, you hit snooze and roll over, putting your phone across the room somewhere where you have to get up, get out of bed, is going to be really good for just forcing you to get up and stay up. And realistically, like once you're up and you've walked around a little bit, make sure like turn off your alarm, turn on your light. And I think that helps a lot with waking up. Another thing is, if you are really disciplined, this will work. I've done it a couple of times. If I know that I'm really tired, I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, I'm really tired, I'm like susceptible to like wanting to go back to sleep. The minute my alarm goes off, turn it off, jump out of bed and turn on the light. And it's a lot. It like jolts your body awake. And the fast rush of like immediately standing up, immediately getting up and turning on the bright light, it like wakes up your senses. And so I think that doing any combination of those things really helps with just waking yourself up in the morning, and getting up. And the thing is, getting out of bed is going to be the hardest part of your day, truly. So once you're up, once you're out of bed, once you're standing, once you are awake, you don't have to be like fully 100% awake, wide eyed, bushy tailed, all of that. But once you're out of bed and awake, that was the hardest part of your day. It was just getting out of bed. So going off of that, I think I really love, and I think I've talked about this before, but I really love prepping for my days the night before. And I've been like this since I was a kid, since I was in probably like elementary, middle school. But I pick out my outfits the night before, and maybe this is a special case because I put so much thought and effort into my outfits for every day, and they have to match the vibe of the day. They have to match the classes that I'm going to. If I'm going to a bunch of long classes, I want to make sure that I'm comfy. But I also want to probably wear my cuter outfits on a longer day, where I don't want to wear my like really cute outfit on a day when I have one 45-minute class and then I go home, because what's the point? But I think that picking out my outfits the night before has been an absolute game changer, and it just makes it so much easier for me to get ready in the morning. So I do track, so I will usually pick out my outfit for practice in the morning and have that laying out, and then I will also I pick out the night before, and then I also pick out my outfit for the day for like class and stuff. And so sometimes if I have to change at school, I pack it in my bag and it's all set and ready for me to go when I leave in the morning. Or if I'm coming back, it's still there. So that's just one less thing that I have to think about in the morning, is picking out your outfit. And the weather app tells you like 10 days in advance, so you can check the weather. My favorite thing is like I love like tapping on the forecast of the day, and you can scroll and scrub and it'll tell you what the temperature is at every hour. And I love that feature, especially if I have practice. I can see how cold it's going to be early in the morning when I have practice compared to later in the afternoon, because sometimes, it's really, really cold in the morning and then hot in the afternoon. So anyway, but yes, I think picking out your outfit or your clothes, prepping as much as you can the night before is a game changer. And like I said, it just makes it one less thing that you have to think about. And it's a lot easier when you're waking up in the morning, you need to get dressed, to just put on your clothes and have them already laid out and prepped for you, rather than to go into your closet and be like, what do I want to wear today? And, throwing off on and off clothes, doing it like that and doing it at night. And, this also might be part of my, I don't know, maybe it's a beige flag, but I would much rather lose sleep at night but have a cute outfit picked out than wake up in the morning, get like a full night of sleep, but wake up in the morning and be stressed and rushing to try to figure out what I'm going to wear, because I will be stressed and rushing and not leave until I am happy with my outfit. So pick it out the night before. And then going off of the prepping, I think meal and food prepping is also a great tip, and it's something that I find really helpful. And I think there's different versions and different ways of meal prepping, because I know a lot of people that will prep out meals for every day of the week. And I did that 1 or 2 weeks in college, I think like last year. And I figured out like, okay, I wrote down this is what I'm having for lunch today, this is what I'm having for dinner this day, for the whole 5 days of the week. And I cooked it all, put it in little Tupperware containers in the fridge, and had them labeled with little sticky notes, so I knew which things to put in my lunch bag for class and what to put back for dinner and all of that. And so I could have as much time as possible. And what I will say about that is it was extremely convenient, and I loved like not having to think about it. But I also hated it because, for me specifically, there's certain things that I didn't like having reheated. It just didn't taste as good, especially once you hit like Thursday and you're like, okay, it's just been sitting here for a couple of days. Like, it doesn't taste great. Like, obviously tastes better fresh. But I'm also a little bit picky when it comes to some of my dinners. And so there would be a meal that I picked out for myself to have for Tuesday and Thursday for dinner. And by the time we get to Thursday, I was like, I don't really want it right now. But obviously I cooked it, so I need to eat it before it goes bad. But like, I don't really want it. And so the compromise that I have created with myself is I will meal prep for 1 or 2 days in advance. And so I have, based on like the way my schedule works, is I have a couple of days where I have more time in the evenings to make dinner. And so those days I will usually, whatever I make for dinner, I will usually make extra. I'll make enough for 2 servings or enough for 3 servings so that I can have it again for lunch or dinner the next day. So, for example, if I'm making Alfredo pasta for myself to have for dinner tonight, I'm going to make extra so that I have enough for me to eat for lunch tomorrow or for me to have for dinner tomorrow so I don't have to think about it. Especially if you're in college or you work and you have like really late nights, really long days, that makes it so much easier. And I feel like I am much happier to have some leftovers like the next day or to have something pre-cooked for the next day than I am to have it for pre-cooked for like 4 days later. So I found that really helpful. It's just like cooking a little bit extra, not forcing yourself to eat anything that you, if you're too full, I don't force yourself to eat the rest of it. You can always save that for a snack for later or lunch or whatever it is. So I think, yes, meal prepping in whatever way is most convenient and tasteful to you is like a really good thing. And also, I would say a big thing that I love is planners. Planners, to-do lists, checklists, whatever it is, I love it. And that could partially be just because I am in college and have homework assignments and all of that. But I love a good checklist. I love a good to-do list, writing out the things that you need to do. So before every semester, I will make a planner on my iPad. I use GoodNotes in case you're wondering, GoodNotes and Pinterest to find the pages. But I will make a little planner in whatever theme, cute, customizable look that I want it to be. And then I have a specific checklist for my homework assignments. And so it's broken down to where you can put the class, the assignment, the due date, and it has a little box that I like to color in. I color code all of my classes, and so I will color in the little box once I complete the assignment. Same thing, I think, just like a physical checklist or an online one, digital checklist, whatever it is, something so that you can keep track of all of your tasks and the things you need to do. And I think what's really helpful is as soon as you remember something or reminded of something or you schedule something, to write it down. Okay, I think that and I'm still guilty of this, but I think that, when you have so many things going on, you schedule something and you're like, okay, cool, like this is gonna happen Tuesday at 4 p.m. and you're like, I'm gonna remember it. I mean, you might, but there's also a good chance that you don't. When like someone asks you, they're like, oh, are you busy this day? And you're trying to think, you're like, I feel like I have something to do, but I can't remember. I don't see it anywhere. Like, I don't, what do I have to do? And then later on, you remember and you're reminded of it. Yeah. You know how to solve that? Write it down. Write it down, put it in your planner, schedule, phone, whatever it is. Like if you're not at your planner, you don't have your planner physically with you, write it in your phone. Set a reminder, set the little alert reminder things on your phone. Just write it down, have it somewhere that's going to remind you so that you know that it's happening, you know that it's going on. And I think that that will truly just make your life a little bit easier because it is really easy to forget something that you have scheduled, especially when you have a lot of things going on, a lot of things running through your mind. And so scheduling something, writing it down as soon as you schedule it or know of it, just makes it so much easier because then even at the end of the day, you're not trying to recall. You're like, what was that one thing that I scheduled with Mindy? Like it's already written down. You got it. It's already there. And the next tip that I have is going to be patient with yourself. There's that saying that it takes, what is it, like 21 days to form a habit or something like that. Like it takes a while. And so, your first week back is probably going to feel a little bit wonky, a little crazy. You might feel a little extra tired. Be be nice to yourself, give yourself grace. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get your groove back, especially if you're coming off of a long break, a long vacation, or just coming off a different schedule. Like it's going to be an adjustment, and there's an adjustment period for pretty much everything. But being nice with yourself, remembering that like you are going to figure it out. And I think the same thing with, this is kind of unrelated, but with daylight savings and whenever that happens, you're always like, oh, it's going to be so much easier to wake up. Like, this is going to be great. And then you're struggling a little bit and you're like, wait, but the time went back. Like, I got an extra hour. It's just because it's an adjustment. It's something different. Your body is not used to it. And so being patient with yourself and giving yourself time, rest, and grace to achieve everything. And on that note, I think that those are my main tips for kind of getting your groove back after coming off of a long break, a vacation, whatever it is. But yes, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I will be starting my classes tomorrow for the spring semester of my senior year of college. Everybody wish me luck. But yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will catch you next Sunday. Bye. And yeah, talk to you next Sunday.